So this is part 2 of my video log, and this is another part that takes much time from the time that would be available to make more videos in YouTube. So sometimes, and I say sometimes, not often, I sell stuff in eBay. And this is a good example. Okay, I have barely sold any of these. Have I even sold one? For what I sell. So, for example, Chemo has made a high voltage generator. This thing produces 1000 volts. And they say you can keep your animals with it. Okay, they say you can't keep big animals like pigs or horses or so, but small animals. Okay, that's their point. You see it works. And I proved that it puts out more than 1000 volts. Even it just says 1000 volts is the output. It puts out even a little bit more. You can see. Puts out 1300 volts. But now let's try to make a spark gap. Yes. Nearly impossible to make a spark gap with this. I don't know how they made this. I mean, what kind of animal shall you keep with this? I really don't know. Snails? I mean, I don't want to blame Chemo. The weird thing is, many years ago, they've also made such a high voltage generator. And they wrote that this generator put out 2 kilowatt. And I've bought it, and I don't know exactly, if I remember correct. This spark generator was really good. It made actually a spark, and it was also kind of painful if you touched it. If you touch this, it's not that good, but it's also not that worse. And so, this is my version of a fence charger. And it's also not a real fence charger. It's just, like Chemo would say, for small animals. And this one puts out 2.2 kilovolt. I won't measure that because I just measured it, and I won't want to waste the video time because I'm running out of memory slowly on the camera. And see, there's actually a spark gap. What's the point? To make a circuit like this, there's not much special stuff in there. It's just a transistor signal generator that generates the pulses and a MOSFET. That's not too hard. Also, the circuit is really power saving. So if I put it off from the power source, it still runs for a while. And also I wanted to make a better fence charger. This one puts out over 6000 volts. You can actually make a nice spark with this, energy-like spark. And it uses a capacitor charger, thyristor circuit to pulse a flyback transformer. And this flyback is also why I'm not putting this on eBay. Where can you get this flyback transformer? Yeah, you can get it in Germany, but in a special shop. But maybe, I'm not sure if you can it on a normal store like Radio Shack or something like that. That's my point. You can get these capacitors, you can get this electrolytic capacitor, the resistors, but this special flyback transformer is sold on a shop in Germany. Maybe it's sold on another shop in another country, but I'm not sure. And when I'm making videos for YouTube, like the one you know, I'm making videos with standard parts that you can buy for sure on many electronic stores. But what happened with this thing, it worked, but I underestimated how far 400 or 500 volts from the capacitors will jump, and it arced over here and over the thyristor, and it popped the thyristor and the trigger diode various times. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. And also, I mean, a farmer wants to keep his animals. Yeah, okay. But does a farmer have a solder iron and the ability to read schematics? That's not a opinion. That's just a case. I mean, who do I want to sell this thing? To a farmer who wants to keep his animals. Maybe he knows electronics, but I'm not sure if every farmer knows electronics. So I'm rather making radio frequency stuff, and this is a good example. This is a similar circuit that Chemo, or I think it's Chemo, the brand was named KB Electronic, and it seems to be Chemo in the very old times, in the 80s or so, made a transmitter like this. That's not the original circuit, it's a rebuilt circuit from someone from eBay, and this is a AM transmitter, a testing transmitter, and they even wrote it transmits FM and AM signals. I mean, why? Okay, it was really cheap, that's okay. But why does it transmit AM and FM signals? If you receive FM signal on an AM radio, the sound is bad, it hisses, it distorts, and I'd rather pay on a bit more for a good kit, like the Ramsey transmitter, okay, which is way more expensive than this was, and get a signal that makes AM, then pay, I don't know what it did cost, 5 to 10 marks, to maybe $5 to $10, $2 to $5, if you calculate it, but it doesn't really work. I mean, somehow it makes music on your radio, yeah, but not with good quality, to be honest. And that is where I jump in. I like this sentence, and I made a similar circuit. And that's another thing. Where do I get this coil? That's not a standard coil. This is a special made coil for this kit. So I had luck, and I found a seller that sells similar coils. These are 220 microhenry, and they are adjustable. And I made a similar transmitter kit that I sometimes, and I pronounce sometimes, sell on eBay. Not often, and I also don't really want to make that much money with it, because I'm reading in forums, hey, where can I get an AM modulator? Where can I get a small AM transmitter to listen to music on my tube radio? And these guys want a kit that they can build. And so I offer these kits. As I said, not often, because I don't want to get in trouble with law. Okay, this is my version of the transmitter, and I've made a German video about this, where I'm comparing this transmitter with this transmitter. This transmitter must be directly connected to the radio, and you can see it has 2 transistors. These are just a few cents that I spent more on cost, but this transmitter is stable and does generate a really good sounding AM signal. This is one thing. I mean, what I want to say is, why do I not make so many videos? I'm building many things, but I'm not filming them always. Another thing is, rather big project, this tube AM modulator. So this must be a really nice item for guys who collect vintage radios, for people who collect vintage radios. And this thing comes along with a power supply that provides the 60 volts for the tubes and the 1.2 volts for the filament. And actually I wanted to be this a already made buyable unit, so you buy it, plug it in, and it works. But if I'm going to release this, I will make it as a kit. Okay, I'm having 2 more minutes on the camera left, so let's hurry up. And I will demonstrate this kit. It works with AA batteries, but it works also with a 9-volt battery. But it does consume 70 milliamps or so. And here's my receiver. Okay, I'm plugging it in. Stay in there. Okay, here you get the signal. This is all generated by tubes. And actually there should be some music. The CD player turned off. Let's hear the music. Okay, that sound. And as you can see, I'm not sure if you can read it. Turn it down a bit. It's an AM. I've tested it with FM. It has barely any FMing. So it's a really well sounding AM signal. And why I'm not posting this on YouTube is so you can rebuild it. Do you have these tubes? Do you have this special coil? Do you have this auto transformer? That's my point. When I post something on YouTube, videos on YouTube, I want that you can rebuild them. So okay. And now I'll make a last part, the third video. Okay, wait, let's demonstrate the range. This is one thing I forgot to say. You connect this directly. So, really weak. Okay, and in the third video I'm going to tell you what's about this. Because this is one thing that shows you further YouTube projects. Okay, see you in the third.